They say the moon remembers what mortals forget, that she keeps her light upon the ruins of all things lost, and hums softly for those who once loved and could no longer stay. This is one such story, a tale not written in ink or song, but carried on the hush of the night wind. A story of two souls who met when the world forbade them to, and found in silence what others seek in words. Long ago, before the rivers chose their paths, and before kings drew borders upon the earth, there were lands divided, not by walls or armies, but by oaths, ancient and binding. To break such oaths was to defy the gods themselves. In one realm, born beneath the burning sun, there lived a man of solemn eyes and quiet strength. He was of the sworn, those marked by the crimson sigil upon their brows, a vow of servitude to a power greater than love or life. He bore it with the grace of one who did not question destiny, until the night he looked beyond it. Across the border of silence and sea, there dwelled another, a woman of the moonlit order, sworn to the light that heals but does not touch. She lived within the gardens of silver, where the blossoms opened only for the moon, and where love was forbidden, not out of cruelty, but to keep their hearts pure as the goddess they served. It was said that the sun and moon would never meet, for if they did, the heavens would tremble. Yet on a night of shifting tides, when the sky wore both gold and silver upon its skin, their paths crossed, not by fate, but by longing. The first time he saw her, she stood at the edge of the sea, her robes whispering against the waves. He thought she was a vision, a fragment of the moon fallen to earth. She did not see him, but the wind carried her name to him like a secret prayer. From that night on, he could no longer hear the vows in his blood without also hearing the echo of her breath. And she, though silent and bound to duty, found herself wandering beneath the moon, long after her prayers were done, searching the horizon, as though something called her name. Seasons turned, and their paths crossed again, not in daylight, but beneath the soft shroud of night. Each time, their eyes met a moment longer, their hearts beat a breath closer, yet never a word passed between them. In their silence bloomed a fragile bond, gentle as the glow of dusk, powerful as the tide that moves unseen. Their love had no language, for it needed none. Every glance was a confession, every heartbeat an answer. But the gods do not bless the quiet kind of love. The mark upon his brow grew heavier with each meeting, a scar that burned when he thought of her. And the light she bore began to dim, as if the moon herself grieved the breaking of her vow. Still, they met, always in secret, always beneath the gaze of the moon, who pitied them more than any mortal ever could. There came a night when the forest itself seemed to wait for them. The air hung thick with sorrow, and even the stars dimmed their light, as though unwilling to watch. He arrived first, a shadow among shadows, his cloak heavy with the scent of rain. He did not face the path she would walk. Instead, his gaze turned toward the darkness beyond, toward the world that would soon take him from her. When she stepped into the clearing, the moon wove silver across her skin. Her presence stilled the wind. Her breath trembled like a candle before its final flicker. She did not call his name. He did not turn. Between them, the earth seemed to hold its breath. 1,000 words lived in the silence. Grief, love, surrender, and something too vast to name. The space between them shimmered, not with magic, but with the weight of all that might have been. He wanted to remember her this way, bathed in moonlight, a dream half vanished, a promise half kept. And she, though her heart cracked in stillness, did not reach for him. For love, in their world, was not to touch, but to remember. When the first light of dawn brushed the trees, the forest sighed, and they knew the night had ended. He took one final breath, and the sigil upon his brow dimmed to ash. She closed her eyes, feeling the wind carry the warmth that had once been his. The moon, pale and fading, lowered herself behind the hills, as though she could not bear to watch their parting. And then, only silence remained, the kind that lingers long after footsteps fade, the kind that becomes part of the world itself. Centuries have passed since that night, yet travelers still speak of the clearing bathed in silver light, where no birds sing and no wind stirs. They say if you stand there beneath the full moon and close your eyes, you can feel a heartbeat that is not your own, steady, sorrowful, echoing through the stillness. Some say it is the man, bound forever to the vow he could not break. Others whisper it is the woman, still waiting for the one who never turned back. But the old storytellers, those who know how love bends time itself, say it is neither. They say it is the sound of the moon remembering, humming softly for two souls who once met beneath her gaze and left behind a silence that still has a heartbeat beneath her light.